Okay, let's move away from that and put the spotlight on Finolex Industries. Came out with its numbers, and you did have the net profits, which tumbled about 66%. Margin has come in at about 19% in the quarter gone by. We've got Ajit Venkataraman, who's the CEO at Finolex Industries, here to discuss their numbers as well as the outlook in the PVC segment and more. Good to have you on board. Let's begin by talking about your volume growth, because that was at 4% versus about 14 to 16% as compared to your peers for PVC pipes. Why was there, this kind of a vast difference, and will volume growth be lower than industry growth this year?
So we had a record volume growth this year. For example, we finished the year with about 303,000 metric tons, which is the highest ever. So this was also highest ever for agri and the pipes and fitting segment. And therefore, and we came with the highest Q3 volumes ever for us in Q3. And Q4 also, we have had a very stable volume. So in terms of volume growth, I think we are pretty much online. And going into the future, it is going to depend a lot upon the stability of PVC prices. And with PVC prices reaching a steady level to almost pre-COVID levels, we are expecting that this year should be a normal year for the PVC pipes and fitting industry. And we are expecting a 10 to 15% growth in both the pipes and fitting segment.
Right. So your PVC-EDC spread has seen a sharp fall as opposed to what your Q4 exit rate was, as we understand. Is that likely to dent PVC resin margins in the coming quarters as well?
See, again, it's a tough call. We would ideally like the PVC-EDC spread as well as PVC-VCM spread to be a little bit higher than what it is right now. The current prices of PVC is at around 75 rupees per kg, and the PVC-EDC spread also lags behind the PVC prices by a little bit. But we are seeing a very narrow range that is between 75 and 80 rupees. So this is pretty much a more stable level than what we have seen in the last 2 years. If this maintains, then we should be in a fairly good position, because if you actually see, you mentioned that our EBITDA margins were at about 19.3%. This is compared to about 18.17% in Q3. So the steadiness of PVC prices really does help.
If we don't get a good monsoon this year, if we don't, fingers crossed, what will change for you?
So ideally nothing much, because the good percentage of ours, almost 60 to 65% of our pipes and fitting volume goes into the agri segment. And a weak monsoon also helps, because farmers need to irrigate their land and they need pipelines taking water from the water source to their fields. So I'm not sure whether that will have a major impact. It should actually be good for us.
Now, we've had an extraordinary year of high inflation. Crude prices, polymer prices, everything has reversed. But you must have increased your prices when raw material prices, they went higher. Now that raw material prices are normalizing, would you be retaining some price hike back?
No, it's a very efficient market. The price rise or price fall is passed on to the market within a few days by all the players in the market. So there is not too much of a play in terms of PVC prices moving up and down. The only impact that a lowering of PVC prices is that the network carries less inventory. When the prices are going up, the retail network does keep a larger inventory in their stock.
Okay, and now that, we have seen the PVC prices as well that are, at the usual levels of pre-pandemic levels and pre-war times, do you think that there could be a further contraction in prices, or have they bottomed out?
No, this is likely to be a stable range. This is, if you look at PVC prices over the last 10 years, it has been fairly stable, other than the last couple of years where it has seen an overall volatility. Now what we have seen since December is that there's a fair degree of stability coming into the market, I think since December onwards.
Right. You're also looking to monetize part of your non-core land parcel in Pune, as we understand. How much is expected from this land sale?
See, for the first parcel, which we have, the net what we have got is about 375 crores, and we are looking at it at this point of time. It's under discussion.
Okay. Also, Ajit, you know that 1,500 crore rupee cash which is lying on your books, any major capex which is planned? How do you plan to utilize this sum?
So we already have made a major investment. A new plant for fittings has come up in Pune, Talegaon, in March, and this is a state-of-the-art facility. And this actually takes our fittings capacity up to 48,000 metric tons. And we are also exploring other opportunities. As and when it fructifies, we will let you know. Whatever is not going to be used for capex requirements, it will be returned to the shareholders.
Okay. When you say 10 to 15% growth, it is largely because the industry is growing or you're gaining market share?
So it's a couple of aspects. The agri segment, we are expecting a growth around about 8%. Whereas the plumbing and sanitation segment, we are expecting a growth upwards of 15%. So that's the reason why we are expecting a growth about a 10 to 15%. And the industry as such is also both I think more from the construction and construction industry that's experiencing a higher growth. And if we look at the projections, over the next 5 years, it is likely to be upwards of 15%. So it's the industry has sufficient headroom.
Okay, thank you for taking time out and joining in, giving us a view on the PVC prices as well as the outlook on your volume growth.